Welcome back to the Dad Days, everyone. I'm Josh, and for those of you that don't know, I'm a stay-at-home dad with two boys, one of which has special medical needs, including a tracheostomy and a G-tube. Today's video is going to be about what we keep inside his feeding backpack for when we leave the house and we're out and about. Let's get into it. So as you can see, this is his feeding pump. When we're at home and we're just around the house, we keep it on this stand right here because it's on wheels and it can just be portable and go wherever Aaron's at. But when we leave the house and we're doing whatever we're doing, we always bring his feeding backpack along because the pump mounts right inside of the backpack, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like and then what all we keep in his backpack in case of emergencies. So we obviously need to take the feeding pump with us. So this front compartment zips open and the feeding pump velcros right inside of the backpack. So we would just strap it in, and then I usually strap the feeding bag right here in the top, and then the cord I just roll up like this right out of the way, and then you're able to zip it up and you're good to go. So let's dig into what exactly we keep in the bag at all times, just so we're ready for an emergency. So like I said, the feeding pump is in the front pocket, but there's also a couple other compartments. So in the very back, we always have a couple extra feeding bags. They come in little packages like this, so they're clean. Because if you're out and about and your feeding bag tears or rips or breaks or whatever, then if you don't have any backup feeding bags, then you're unable to feed your child by pump. So this is just an emergency. I always try and have a backup to my backup in any situation with our son. So I have two backup feeding bags. So we usually have this is considered the G-tube extension. So this part right here attaches to my son's G-tube that goes into his stomach. And I have a video more specifically about G-tubes and G-tube extensions and administering medicine by G-tubes. So you could check that out if you want to learn a little bit more about that. But we usually bring the extension along that he's currently using. We also have a backup extension from the previous use, just as, again, an emergency. And then if all else fails, we also have a brand new extension in the backpack as well. Because like I mentioned with the bags, if anything happens to any one of these components, then you're not able to feed your child when you're out and about. So we always have a backup to the backup. Then as far as the G-tube itself that goes into his stomach in this little middle compartment, I have a bag here. I have cleaned a previous G-tube. It looks like that. And then there's two syringes that are made specifically for adding water to the balloon of the G-tube. And then there's a little bit of lubricating jelly for inserting it into the stomach where it goes before you fill up the balloon with water. So this is a used one, but it's been cleaned, and I keep it as an extra backup. Again, always have a backup to your backup. And then I also have a brand new pack. So this has another extension, G-tube extension. It has a brand new G-tube. It has extra lube. It has a little bit of everything. So this is what the G-tube kits come like. You know, we get one of these every month, so we just keep a backup in the feeding backpack just so we have it. So if any one component breaks down multiple times while we're out and about, we still have a way to feed our child. And again, worst case scenario, we only have one feeding pump. So if that were to die or to break or something when we're out and about, I always keep at least one syringe with us. We usually have a couple of these in our regular backpack where we keep our diapers and everything. But in this feeding backpack, I usually like to have at least one in that as well, because when it comes down to it, as long as we have a functioning G-tube extension, this can screw into the extension and I can just feed my child with a bolus feed with the syringe right into the extension and give him food that way without the feeding pump if need be. So that's kind of it. This is just a short and sweet video just to try and help anybody that might be in a similar situation that feeds their child by feeding pump. So I'll just quickly go through everything one more time. We mount the feeding pump inside the front of the backpack. It just Velcros right in. Then in the back, we have a backup extension. We have 2 backup feeding bags, and we have a backup G-tube kit that also has an extension in it. Then we also have the extra G-tube itself in here. So we basically have at least 2 or 3 of every individual part from the G-tube the whole way to the feeding pump. Other than the feeding pump, we have the syringe that we are able to feed our child with a syringe if need be, if the pump were to die or something. So that's about it when it comes to his feeding backpack for traveling or being on the go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps. If you are in a similar situation, drop me a comment. Let me know if this was helpful. And as always, stay tuned for more Dad Days.